as always on a Friday, under the radar for your Week 5 marquee right here on the Rich Eisen Show.
3 games under the radar.
Very good. That's my just the quick ones.
It's great.
The quick
It's
ones.
great.
The quick just burst of production value, just to show off that we're not mailing it in, we're not laying it up. I really appreciate that.
I feel like that's Michael Winslow from Spaceballs.
That could be. Spaceballs. That's where you go. You don't go Police Academy movies.
I mean,
It's impressive.
well,
that's under the radar.
He did
Spaceballs.
that specific.
Oh, okay.
But in
he did everything in
Spaceballs.
Police Academy.
That's true.
Did we just discover you've never seen the Police Academy movies?
No, I've only seen like
All right.
the later ones, like 4 and 5.
Well, this is now totally under the radar. Can you give me some NFL Films music, please,
Yes, sir.
Mr. Feller? Let's get right into it. We got 3 games under the radar, underneath the marquee. Not a lot of people are talking about these games, and they're just as important because they're games, and they're also very important to the fan bases that are talking about it. Let's start with Carolina hosting Philadelphia. The Eagles are now 1-3.
Oh, that's a good game.
The Eagles are now 1-3, and the Panthers have finally gotten a little bit of blood in their mouth as the Cowboys smacked them around a little bit. Carolina goes back home. Sam Darnold under center. Does not appear that we're going to see Christian McCaffrey in this game, right, Christopher? Seems like doesn't look like that way,
Not
right?
trending in that direction.
Doesn't seem to be trending in that direction. And the Philadelphia Eagles, once upon a time, won a football game. That once upon a time was Week 1. If they fall to 1-4, losing in this one in conference after losing one in conference, taking on San Francisco a couple weeks ago at home, and then now here's another one against Carolina, and the Philadelphia Eagles after this one, the Philadelphia Eagles take on Tampa Bay on a Thursday night. That's a big Lulu of a step in Week 6. They got to have this one. Certainly after, putting some points up against Kansas City, they got to feel good about it. But 1-4 is not acceptable, and Carolina wants to show everybody that they were not a fluke at 3-0. That's a big one. Speaking of Tampa, this one's under the radar because everyone thinks, I would proffer to say, since everybody in the NFL world is now talking a bit more about what goes on behind the scenes and places that Mo Green does not have a plaque or a signpost, I would imagine, what's that name of that show with Jeff Probst is the host?
Survivor.
And if there's a pool next to that television show,
Yep.
I would think that Tampa, if that's not already been, if you will, selected on a remote to watch that television show, that this one will be hit mostly for people who are interested in the show. What's the name of the show that Jeff Probst is?
Survivor.
Okay, very good. That's what I think would perhaps be the number one choice of Week 5 participants. And Miami, you're already beginning to hear, what's going on down there. And the whole what's going on down there was simmering. And you know what kind of lit a match? This show. And Trent Dilfer came on and talked about the quarterback's coach, Charlie Fry, being the one that's in Tua's ear. And that's when everyone's like, well, it's a two-headed monster at offensive coordinator. What's going on there? And then the offense just went absolutely south in the first game after all of that was being discussed against the Colts. And Deshaun Watson sitting out there on his Instagram account, and the trade deadline's right around the corner. Would the Dolphins make a franchise-altering move in the middle of a season? If they're 1-4, maybe. That's what's at stake in this game underneath the radar. And then the last one, normally when it's 3-1 versus 3-1, and a division leader is visiting another team that's got a piece of the division lead, we're talking about it all week.
Yeah, marquee game.
Well, one of those teams, the one that's got a piece of the division lead, is called the Cincinnati Bengals. And when the Packers show up in Cincinnati, everyone's like, well, okay, that's nice, Cincinnati. You've had a nice 3-1 start. Here come the Packers to town. Well, this is a totally winnable game for the Cincinnati Bengals. And if they want to snap the lapels of the entire football world, and certainly those who talk about it and say, yes, sir, we are the ones in the AFC North that is under the radar and no longer. Here comes Green Bay. Jalen Smith, freshly signed. How much are they going to throw him out there? On the road in Cincinnati. And can they go hunt Aaron Rodgers? That one is fascinating to me. And those are 3 games underneath the radar in week number 5. But not underneath my radar. Nothing's underneath my radar. I just have radar.
You making picks for those games? What are your picks?
No, I'm not doing that. Game day morning's off this weekend. So I don't have to
because
make
it's
any public
6:30.
picks. I'm going to take the week off of making public
Can you
picks.
just make him here? We're among friends.
No. I'm just like, it's a week off.
We're
Holler at your boy.
We're friends.
It's a week off because, the London games exclusively on NFL Network.
Yeah, 9:30 Eastern.
Not a week off for Colleen Wolfe, who's hosting the pregame.
She in
And not a-
London?
No.
Oh.
No, and not a week off for Steve Smith Sr. and Willie McGinnis and Michael Irvin, who is working this
And
weekend.
he is
I would say this.
He is everywhere.
I don't want to speak for Michael.
But you're about to.
I don't want to speak for Michael. Don't know if it's appropriate for me and Mooch and Kurt to send him a text Sunday morning asking how work is doing. How's it going?
All three of you, though, need to
We should
coordinate at the
take
same
photographs
time.
of us sitting in bed.
Exactly. Like, you need to
terry
coordinate.
cloth robe? I gotta do that.
Breakfast.
Yes.
Like a nice tall
In bed.
glass of
In
OJ
bed.
in
In
bed,
bed. Done.
watching him.
Done.
On the couch with your feet up.
All at the same time.
Watching him. I
All
don't
at
know
the
if
same
I don't know if I'm going to be up that early though.
All at the same time.
Oh,
You
You're
will
not-
because
you're
muscle
not-
memory will wake you up fairly
well, that's a
early.
5 a.m. kick to start out here in the Pacific Coast.
But 6:30 kick for the game, so you'll be awake to see the game.
The point being, Chris, is he's not working
No, I
on
won't.
Sunday, right? So he
The
should.
idea is to not be awake at 6:30 in the morning on Sunday. I'll just catch to see what the Jets and the Falcons do in quarter one. I'm literally going to tap out. It's so rare for me.
Good luck. I understand,
in 18
but, like,
years, I haven't had a Sunday off.
Even on a day where I get to sleep in, I can't sleep in.
Yeah, your body's going to wake you
Your
up at
body's
some
just like,
strange
oh,
hour.
yeah, it's time to wake up. It's Saturday. It's Sunday.
Susie knows this, so she knows this. That I may on Saturday night into Sunday hang out with a friend named Am and Bien. Okay. My good friend Am. Haven't seen Am in a long time.
Haven't seen him in a while.
Certainly on a Saturday night.
Of course.
But Très Bien
Yeah.
with Am.
Wow.
Okay.
I understand.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, Mr. Rogan.
Hey, you watched all the way to the end. Thanks for that. Watch more right here.